Raid Shadow Legends Stu here with Chofly Mobile Chosen. So he did an interview type with me on his channel, Chosen's Corner video, number 2, featuring StewGaming. This is just an ending clip of it, basically the last 10 minutes. It's very entertaining. I'm sure you will enjoy it. If you want to watch the whole video, and please do, go to his channel. I'm going to leave a link to it in the description below. Watch the full thing there. Give him a thumbs up. You know, if you haven't ever been to his channel, leave a comment saying, hey, StewGaming sent me. I always think that's pretty funny to see that. I'd like to see that. I'll go over there and add a comment on it as well. I would love that very much. Thank you all so much. We both appreciate the support. And here we go.
Or medals, whatever.
The medals, yeah. Why they wouldn't come out with a shop now when they release that, I don't know. But they're going to, I'm sure. But they release things in really small increments.
And so like I think it should be, like you said, there should be tiers. Like the ranked players, first of all, it needs to be higher than top 300. It needs to be like top 1000, and then they need to layer the rewards, like you said. Like there should be like a top 20, a top 100, a top 200, a top 500, and a top 1000.
Right. For sure.
You need to layer it more to give more people an incentive to participate in. Like when you just make it top 300, there's no incentive to get like top 10. You might as well just stay low in platinum where it's easier.
Right.
The only incentive is like bragging rights, and then it's so glitchy and buggy, and you never have opponents. You know, like I don't know. I think it was a good idea, but I think it was implemented poorly, if I'm just being honest.
Right. And I don't agree with them adding that 5% additional HP defense, and they should have just left that out. I really don't like that in Arena, how they add the additional HP percentages, defense, and the additional stats, especially for 300 only people. I mean, I'm in there all the time. I'm up there, but there's no reason. I don't feel there's a reason why 300 of us should have higher stats like that.
Oh yeah, you mean for like, well, like
for placing.
So you think it should just be rewards?
Just be rewards, like you said. You know, once they have the rewards, the top 10, top 1, once they give us like, you know, 500 gems for number 1 person, 300 gems for the number 2, and then, you know, break it down into different things. Once they have that, that's our incentive already. And to compete is the incentive, right? We have a dynamic now content that we go into, and we have to think about every day depending on who we face. Now, do we sub in this champion or that champion? Do they have high resistance? What am I working with? So it's already content that we always, you know, we make the content because we're fighting against other people, so we get to have always changing. So that is content enough. Like that is it. That's fine with the top 300. We don't need that, and with rewards, but we don't need that additional. I don't think it's fair to have 300 people have such a 5% increase in attack, defense, and HP, even though it's not a lot. I just don't think it's needed.
Yeah, I don't know what to think on that. I'm kind of neutral. Because, like, I'm neutral. Like, I agree with what you're saying, but I agree with their point of trying to give people an incentive to get up there.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know what to think on that. But that's a good conversation to have. So what do you think happened with the roadmap? Do you think we're just, like, screwed on that? Like, the second clan boss, that was teased, like, 4 months ago.
Well, you know, you did the video on the clan boss, You know, we've all done videos. I think every YouTuber out there, current clan boss situation since global release, and like you said earlier about us being able to keep our teams, our clans together, and all you'd have to do is tweak some numbers. So I don't know. I don't get it. I knew it would take longer for them to implement all this stuff for the roadmap. I really didn't believe 100% that it would be ready, and I was still mad that they wouldn't just go back and fix the clan boss, like we've all talked about. So I don't know. Like I said, they had to rebuild a lot of stuff, so it's taken a lot of time, and I'm just hoping that they're done, that they can move past it and start getting us some extra things out there. But it would do a lot. It would go a long way if they had some goodwill and would give us a fixed clan boss. Like if they took your idea on your video that you did for the clan boss and just implemented that, I mean, just think how much happier the current player base would be.
Yeah, that would be. And for those who aren't familiar, what I said was, instead of the clan boss damage counting down to 0, it should just count up and be a running total. That way, if you, and then you just hit a certain threshold and your whole clan gets the rewards. So instead of it going to 0 and now no one else can get rewards, it would count up, and then everybody can get their damage in, no matter how much you can do 1 billion damage, and it won't hurt your teammate. That way, you're not punished for having a full good roster of clan. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they can't just switch that around. But
And it'd be so amazing. It would be so amazing too, because then you add another layer on. Because okay, we flip it. Now we're doing damage, and we can see how much damage our clan's done on the Ultra Nightmare clan boss. Say total damage, even if they went well above, like they're just blasting it. Then we can have leaderboards for clan bosses and have the top 10 leaderboards of the clans that are doing the most damage to the clan boss, and give out a really small reward, which more competitive nature, more people spending, more people playing. It's just fun. I think that's fun.
Yeah, no, I think it would be incredible. So what would you focus on then if you were them?
If I was them right now, the first thing I would do is 100% balance 50% of the champions in the game and artifact sorting. I would just go back and balance them.
Balance 50% of the champions in the game.
In the game, yes.
So,
Yes.
so my theory on this is they actually don't want the champions to be balanced, because like they want there to be trash legendaries and god tier legendaries, because then like if you get a legendary and it's always good, what's your incentive to buy more shards, you know?
Well, I would say that in a gacha environment like this, that it won't matter, because I know people who have like 5 copies of Martyr, 2 Warlords, and they're still spending way more than I would ever spend on a game, nonstop. So regardless of them having they still want it all. They still want to catch them all, right? Pokemon, you got to have them all. No matter what, there's going to be people in gacha games that will spend, always. And I would still, and look at me and you. Do you think, like, we have Bad L, you have a Draco, you have a Martyr, you have whatever else, but we still spend, right?
Yes, but I don't spend near what I used to. Like, my first month I didn't spend a lot. Months 2, 3, and 4 I spent my most, and then since then, now I'm about 10 months in, or no, like 8 months in probably. My months like 5, 6, 7, 8 have all kind of slowly been tapering off less and less.
Right.
Because
I think that's because of the game, right?
Yeah,
that's because of
they need new content. They need a new reason for me to like get excited, you know?
Right. And I think that's where, like we were talking about Tower earlier, if you had to really change up, kind of like Faction Wars, you've had to make different teams for Faction Wars. You've had to 60 things that you didn't necessarily want to, or at least make them a little bit stronger for Faction Wars.
Yep.
So yeah, that makes you want to spin shards still. So there's reasons for us to spin it. And if the game was better, like we want it to be, then yes, I think we would keep spending more, even though we have those powerful champions. So I can't really agree 100% that they don't want to buff legendaries just because of that reason. Because those other games that we're talking about that we've already went over a million times, those other games out there, they have good balance. And that's one of the good draws about it.
So like on Summoner's War, balance. There's no like terrible legendaries?
Not now. I mean, of course there were in the past, but not as many, not like this game. And plus, the game was never designed to like this game, and not many games are. Like, this game is one of the first gacha games I've played where they have tiered debuffs and buffs. Lower versions and stronger versions.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, like, the 30% decreased defense and 60%?
Right. Which severely gimps those uncommons, rares.
Yeah.
Even some, epics that we have out there. So... can you imagine that if our rares had the higher versions?
Yeah,
they'd be really useful. I think some of them would be really, and some of them do. Like, we've got War Maiden, we've got the Marked girl who does the 60% increased defense on a 3-turn cooldown for 2 turns. So we do have some of them, and those are our top tier rares.
Yeah,
And they're not broken, and we still. And here's the funny thing: like, they're strong, they're good, people can use them. But they're not so overpowered that we don't, like, I still use a Zargala instead of a War Maiden. So I'm still going to spend. We're still going to try to get better champions. But War Maiden is still a phenomenal champion. 3-turn AoE, decreased defense. I just don't. And the other games never did that. All the other games I ever played didn't have this 2-tier difference. And I think it really hurts this game in a sense. And if we were to flip it, sure, we'd have to go back and balance some rares, some uncommons, whatever else. But that's fine. You go back and nerf them a little bit if they're too strong. But I think it would make, in whole, I think it would make the game more enjoyable, so we could use just different different team.
Yeah,
right? Different team
I think their goal was to make it easier to differentiate between rares and epics and legendaries. Like your legendaries are always going to have the big versions, and your rares are always going to have the small versions, and your epics are going to be kind of a mixed bag. I think that was kind of like their goal initially.
Unless you're Black Knight or something. Or
Yeah.
whoever else has the smaller versions, those, and that's, I did a video recently on balancing all the legendaries in Bannerlords, like what I would do to balance them. So I went over just the Bannerlord legendaries, not that many, and exactly what I would do without recreating them, without going in there and changing their skills. I wasn't trying to just like totally rework them. I was just saying, this is what I would change right now.
Yep.
Very easy to at least make them really playable and enjoyable to get, because we just had that sacred summoning.
Yep.
That you wouldn't feel bad about pulling a champion, a legendary champion.
Yeah.
And it was easy. Like what I said was pretty easy and not crazy stuff. And if they did that, then in the future we could always, go back and rebalance. But definitely balancing is my number one. If they balanced the game and gave us an artifact sortment system, I'd be making so many videos praising them all the time.
Yeah. I've I obviously love balancing, and I have my tier list that I always work on and update. So I'm really into that stuff, and yeah, I don't know why it's so hard to do balancing more often than every 3 months. I think I agree with you. I think that's a big problem. I think you need to be balancing and shaking up metas and stuff way more often than changing 3 or 4 champs every 3 months.
Right. And those champs usually aren't that good, right?
Yeah. Like, and then you change Cythalia, and like, instead of being awful trash, she's just trash. Like, right. So you didn't really change anything, like.
I know, it's crazy. And she's one of the ones that I mentioned in there because she's part of the Bannerlord, about how to, make her decent. And when I talked about her, I went and showed Scartosis, I went and showed Smash Lord and Duchess Lilitu, and their abilities and what they do compared to her heal. And I'm just like, how can you justify her having this kind of ability when you've got other people out there with crazy things along with other crazy abilities that go along with it that make them so good legendaries? But
see, that goes back to my theory that they don't want to. They want there to be trash legendaries and god tier legendaries to make you extend the life of you as a spender. Because if let's just say every legendary is godly, and everybody who pulls a legendary, now you can do stage 20, and you don't need to get the Bad Elves and the Kaimars and all that. It extends the life of your player spending money, I think. Maybe that's their philosophy.
Right, it could be. They could be thinking that, but that's they shouldn't.
No, I know.
Because I still want those champs. Because if they're all awesome, then that means I want them more, even more so. Because I can complete that content. But if the Bannerlords have really cool champions, and I got one, like I just got Chamfort recently, I'd be excited.
I agree. Like if I were a designer, I would be trying to balance them. I'm just saying, like, maybe that's their thinking, is trying to extend the life of a spender.
It could be, and like, again, I think it all goes down to that one top. Whatever that one person's philosophy is at the top, they're not like a Steve Jobs. They're not in there making sure that this game gets, done. My thing is, like, if I ran that company every day, I'd be playing games. I'd be playing this game, and I would be going each of the departments that I oversee, even those department heads that we do meetings with. I would be in it, man. I would be in it. That's just the type of person I am. I would want to know what everybody's working on. What are you doing? I mean, I wouldn't be over your shoulder, breathing down your neck or anything, but I would be heavily involved in every minor detail because it would be my baby,
Yeah, no, I feel the same from how we've talked off camera and stuff.
About making games. Sure,
yeah,
sure.
I would love to be a part of that and be in there and see it all and be able to help, but they don't seem too interested in getting any help from any input.
Yeah, the outside help. Well, they ask us from time to time, right? They ask us, hey, what are the most common things that players are asking for? And we tell them, and players are always asking both of us, right? They're always like, hey, can you tell player this or that? And I'm like, yeah, we've told them 100 times. Believe me.
Yeah, and that's why, I haven't been as gung-ho about that, is because I feel like they're just doing it to be nice, Like, okay, let's make them feel like their opinion matters. But, like, in all reality, like like when you pat a kid on their head. Like, yes,
Right.
yes, I understand. Okay, that sounds good. I think I get that feeling. It's like, let's let them feel valuable and like their opinion matters, but it doesn't actually matter.
I'm pretty sure whatever we fill out when they ask us to, they just immediately delete it. They're like, oh yeah, this is from them. Never mind, delete, and they throw it away.
And
So-
I don't know. So I don't know. Everyone I've dealt with from Polarium is really nice and really nice to me. So I don't want to like be too harsh. But
No, they're great.
But that's
But
just
they're
like
not
the general feeling I get from like the big
Right.
picture.
They're great, but the people we're talking to aren't the main people in charge. Like,
yeah.
I wanna chop it up with the main people in charge. If there's one or two of the main people, that's who I want you and I to talk to get a feel of what they think about the game and what direction they want to go. Because we talk to all these other people and they have great ideas, but they're just like programmers or lead of a department. And even though they have ideas, those ideas get shot down still. They're still not their final call on what gets done.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to talk to that person. That's who I want us to talk to. And at least then I can get a feel, even if they don't agree with everything we say, we can, at least if we have a conversation, we can probably get a feel of if they play games, if they play this game, and what direction they kind of want to take it. I would think then.
Yeah.
And if we ever go out to the Ukraine, we probably will be able to get a hold of that person. Now, if we go out there and they say that person's not available, I'm upset.
Yeah, no, that would be rough. Well, that's something we would iron out before going. Like,
I bet they're gonna tell us that person's on vacation or dealing with something on the other side of the world.
Well, that would have to be ironed out before going. Like, hey, what are we doing? Who are we talking to? What's the purpose? Who do we get to meet? Where are we staying? All of this type of stuff would get ironed out. I hope anyway.
Yeah, well, we've seen people go there already, so we know they're gonna take care of it. So it's gonna be a fun time regardless. If we ever get another chance to go out there, it'll be a fun time. So that's not in question. I just want to make sure we get to talk to some other people, just for fun, just to see how those top individuals are.
Yeah, it would definitely be an interesting experience for sure. Well, we're about to hit the 40-minute mark, so
Wow.
Yeah, no, it was fun. We kind of time
fast.
flies, and we just started talking, and that's always good when you have an episode where you can just kind of shoot the crap and have fun talking.